You render a clip in Sora, wait several minutes, and the motion looks wrong, so you switch to Kling and get 4K back in under 2. Same prompt, very different experience. Sora is OpenAI's video engine, baked into ChatGPT. Kling 3.0 is a standalone 4K tool with its own API. One of these is a product, the other is a feature, and I want to find out which is which. Test 1, output quality. A blurry, low-res clip with janky motion is just unusable. You can't ship that to a client without embarrassment. I expected both tools to be pretty close given all the hype, so watch what the resolution specs and community motion reports actually say. I looked at the vendor specs and community consensus side by side, and here's what we got. Kling 3.0 officially supports 4K, that's a published spec. Sora's max resolution isn't documented anywhere I could find. On motion, community reports split. Sora leads on raw physical convincingness. Kling leads on human kinetic realism. And on audio, Sora picks up a community win for losing that old echo effect, though Kling has no comparable audio spec to point at. Kling takes output quality. A concrete 4K spec beats an undocumented resolution every time, and the motion edge Sora has is real but narrow, while Kling's human kinetic realism is what most creators actually need. I didn't expect the resolution gap to be this one-sided, but there it is. Kling leads 1-0. I've spent way too many hours inside these tools to get caught off guard by a spec gap like that one. Drop a comment below if the resolution mystery on Sora has burned you too. Test 2, generation speed. I hear the objection all the time, speed doesn't matter if the output is good enough. But when you're iterating on a prompt 10 or 20 times to nail a shot, waiting several minutes per clip adds up fast, and that wait time is real money if you're billing by the hour. I had to run this one through community reports because neither tool publishes official speed numbers, so take it as directional. What the community consistently says is that Kling 3.0 delivers 4K clips in under 2 minutes. Sora's speed is vague at best, community reports say several minutes per clip, and OpenAI hasn't put a documented number out there. Kling wins speed, sub 2-minute 4K against a vague several minutes, isn't a close call, even if both data points come from community reports rather than official docs. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. That puts Kling up 2-0, and I didn't expect the speed gap to be this clear given how little either side publishes officially. Test 3, pricing and credits. You sign up for Sora's Pro plan at $200 a month, get 1,000 credits, and then realize you have no idea how many clips that actually buys you because the credit to clip ratio isn't published. That's a real problem when you're trying to budget a project with a fixed number of deliverables. I pulled up the published pricing pages for both, and the difference is pretty stark. Kling's API lists 0.10 for a 5-second 720p clip and 0.50 for 4K, concrete numbers you can actually budget against. Sora charges 0.20 per credit, but without a published clip per credit ratio, you can't do the math. Kling's pricing is just transparent. Sora's is a black box. Kling takes pricing. At 10 cents a clip, you can actually know what you're spending before you spend it, and Sora's credit system just doesn't give you that. That's 3-0 for Kling, and the pricing transparency gap is wider than I expected going in. So Kling is ahead on every test so far, but we've still got style control and platform availability to go, and those two dimensions are where a lot of creators actually live, day to day. Style control in particular could change how you think about the character consistency problem, which is the thing that drives most people crazy about AI video right now. Test 4, style control and consistency. I hear this one constantly from creators. You generate 5 clips of the same character and get 5 different faces. Your whole project falls apart because the audience can't follow who's who, and you end up spending more time fixing inconsistencies than actually making content. That's the number one pain point in AI video right now. I went through the feature sets for both tools and the community reports on consistency. Kling 3.0 has a reference image tool that directly locks in a character's look across shots, plus a motion brush for granular control over what moves and how. Sora has style presets and a storyboard tool, which is really a sequencing feature, not a consistency fix, and community reports back that up with mixed results on character stability. Kling wins style control. The reference image tool is a direct answer to the consistency problem. Sora's storyboard doesn't actually solve it, and I didn't expect the feature gap to be this targeted. That's 4-0 for Kling, and the consistency tooling alone is probably enough reason for a lot of creators to stop looking at Sora. Test 5. Platform availability and limits. Say you're a developer and you want to pipe AI video into your own app or workflow, so you go looking for Sora's API docs and come up empty. Meanwhile, your product timeline is not waiting. That's not a hypothetical. That's the situation Sora's standalone shutdown actually created for a lot of builders. I checked the platform reach for both, and the contrast is pretty stark. Kling 3.0 runs on web, mobile, and a fully documented API. You can build on top of it right now. Sora is locked inside ChatGPT after its standalone site was discontinued, and no published API access turned up anywhere I looked. That's not a minor inconvenience. It means Sora is a feature you use, not infrastructure you build on. Kling wins platform availability. A documented API and multi-platform reach against ChatGPT only with no published API isn't close, and the standalone sunset makes Sora's accessibility story worse than it was a year ago. That's 5-0 for Kling across every dimension we tested, and that's the final score. Alright, so where does Sora actually win? Community reports consistently put Sora 2 at the top for physically convincing motion, especially on complex physics like fluid dynamics or cloth simulation. And the audio has genuinely improved. Users say it lost that old hollow echo and now sounds natural with real pauses. If those two things are your make or break, Sora is worth a look. Kling wins on basically everything practical. 4K output is a published spec. Per clip pricing is transparent. 10 cents for 720p and 50 cents for 4K, numbers you can actually budget against. The reference image and motion brush tools handle character consistency better than anything Sora has. And it's available on web, mobile, and API, so you can actually build with it, not just use it inside ChatGPT. If raw physical motion and improved audio are your absolute priority, Sora is worth testing. But if you need 4K, transparent pricing, character consistency tools, and API access, Kling 3.0 is the pick. Same prompt, very different experience, and Kling is the one that actually works like a product. One thing that doesn't show up in the docs anywhere, Sora's standalone app was sunset without a migration path, so any workflow or integration you built around it just stopped working. Kling's API versioning means Kling 3.0 is the current active model. There's a documented upgrade path. That kind of continuity risk doesn't show up in a feature comparison, but it absolutely should. Now that you know where Kling sits against Sora, the next question is how it holds up against its closest direct competitor. I ran the same kind of breakdown in Luma versus Kling, which is better. And the results there are genuinely more interesting than you'd expect, so that one is worth watching next.